Every artist needs a composition toolbox. This is a collection of tools to improve your composition. The rule of thirds is one composition tool, but there are many others, and they can be used together or in isolation. Every tool is useful within certain circumstances. I'm going to share different composition tools, but you have to know when to use them. You wouldn't use a screwdriver to hammer a nail, unless the screwdriver was the only tool that you had. If you have a collection of composition tools, then you will be able to choose between them. You will experiment with all the tools at your disposal, and over time you will develop an instinct of what tools to use and when. The rule of thirds is a good foundation, but we are now going to look at the rule of space. These are the names that they have been given, and they do make me uncomfortable, because the word rule implies that they should always be used in the manner that is suggested. But that isn't what the creative process is. These are tools to be used when they're required and altered to fit your creative process. The rule of space is particularly useful in creating the idea of movement. This picture shows an animal moving forward, but the central composition, it makes the body of the animal seem very static. The current composition doesn't suggest movement. We can change that by altering the image. Adding some space can create the impression of movement. There is now space at the front of the animal. In our minds, we can visualize the animal moving into that space. The canvas is like a small world. We see what's on the canvas as being divided from our world. In the first image, the animal was static because there was no space for it to move to. People don't visualize the animal moving beyond the canvas. So we must make space within the canvas. This is conceptual space. We are creating space for the viewer to think about what's going to happen. The animal is going to move into that space. Adding space to an image is useful if we want to portray what has happened or what will happen. People consider a painting as though it is a static snapshot. But if you use the rule of space, then you can create something that pushes the viewer to contemplate the future or the past. The image might be a single frame, but it can be created in a way that encourages the viewer to see beyond that moment. One image can tell a story or a sequence of events. In this image, the fist is at the bottom of the painting, and there is a large amount of space above it. The image is titled Yes, and it depicts a moment of success. It portrays that feeling of wanting to punch the air. The space above the fist is there to portray that movement. The fist cropped would portray something very different. This image of a clenched fist could be seen as an expression of anger or resistance or struggle. It is the space above the clenched fist that helps to create the concept of the piece as being a piece about success. The rule of space is ideal for images where something has happened or it is just about to happen. If a child is throwing a ball, put space where the ball is going to travel. This will help the viewer imagine that the ball is high in the sky. If someone is parachuting out of a plane, show the earth beneath them. Show where they are going, and the viewer will be able to visualize their landing and the journey they will travel. The rule of space is an interesting composition tool because it's easier to know when it should be used. We can easily identify if the picture we are creating shows movement or depicts something that is about to happen. The tool comes with a clear set of instructions of when it should be used and why. However, it is also a versatile tool that can be used with other composition tools. It works particularly well with leading lines, and that is something we are going to look at next.